Hello. Hi, folks. It's your girl, Maurice, and I'm here with a live stream real quick before I start selling some CDs and making some moves. So, I just have to do my makeup real quick. So I figured out, you know, bring y'all all a part of the sleigh before I make the moves that I need to make, get the coins that I need to get. So, I know it's been a minute. Last time I was on here, y'all saw me do my big chop. I've been rocking short hair for a little bit now. It's been the first time in like almost 10 years now. I think it's been 10. Um, over 10 years. And, it's different this time around because I'm older, I'm more mature, and I have like a better like understanding of my own personal style and like how to put a look together. Um, so yeah, like I was in high school when I first did my shortcut and just like cut off all my hair. And so now that I'm 30 and I did it again and just got rid of all the locks and everything, it's just it's a whole new vibe. A little bit of like the past and the future um, meeting, shall we say. So, I just wanted to get on here and talk for a little bit, just because I turned 30 this year. And, there's been some interesting things that's happened along my journey. And I specifically wanted to talk about like 30-year-old women who are like single and like don't have kids and are just like creatives and entrepreneurs. I was just doing it alone and just figuring it out, you know. And if the path isn't like clear and and you're like doing all these projects and you're putting your like blood, sweat, and tears into it, and you feel like, you know, the 20s was when you were like hustling and working really hard, and now that you're in your 30s, it's like, you know, not necessarily starting a family just yet, but still like just grinding it out and just really focusing on yourself and your career. Like, I know what that's like. I mean, it's crazy to be 30 right now. Grateful that I survived and made it thus far, and, live to see a day where not only do I turn 30, so I lived for 30 years, but, it was a nice warm day on my birthday, and someone treated me to a hotel. So I had like my own space for the day. And, I was just kind of like by myself, like catching up on like my life and energy and just like recharging my energy and, just like remastering my life for the day. It was a simple day for the most part. It was, I still had my little struggles or whatever, but, you know, it was a blessing to make it to 30, And it's different because there have been some like challenges along the way, and me just trying to like figure things out. And right now I'm, still working on music, still building, but have to like shed a lot of like things that weren't serving me, and just shed a lot of um, you know missed opportunities, and just the season of shedding, you know. And in that, I've been like working on like being in like this new cycle of my life. And just really focusing on me and like what the future holds and what I want to build for myself. Because I mean, the first thing was just like location and getting to a space of like where I can just kind of like clear my mind and like focus on like my body and my health and also like my goals and what I want to work on, what I want to build in the world that I want to create for myself, and like really figuring out how to do it and like be good at it and like master it this time around. Because I think for a long time, like I have been just like struggling for a few years, like just like working on different ventures and just feeling like I was just like wasting time and just like putting so much work into my projects and just feeling like bleeding through like resources and you know and it not really get to the place that I want it to be. Like, I guess I would be in like these ebbs and flows of like success and then opportunities come, gigs and like something where it's like, okay, this is cool, but I need to build upon this. I need something that's gonna like improve and increase and everything. Over time, where it's not like I'm just like putting work into something and then just like losing it, losing the momentum, losing the, just like the energy, um, to be consistent with it. And then not even just that, but just feeling like I don't want to put energy into something that's not gonna like, you know, like produce any good harvest that lasts for a while. And it's frustrating because it's like I could do the traditional thing of like finding work somewhere, like all today. I mean, pretty much every day. I've just been like looking up jobs in places, and and then in between that, I'm like, okay, well, as I'm waiting for these jobs, like let me just try to come up with something or build something on my own that can at least bring some type of like revenue or income. And so like I've been doing that by like selling CDs, which was kind of like the first hustle that I stumbled upon since like leaving my house and really just being on this journey of like the solo self journey of just like figuring things out like month by month and just trying to come up with different ways to like just make ends meet. And and yeah, it's just been interesting. Like I've definitely had some wins along the way, and and me just like selling CDs and just like coming up with different goals like a week at a time, and just going through the cycle of like getting the CD, reaching out to people, asking people, connecting with individuals, and like, spending the time and you know putting in the work. And it's not that like I don't want to do that. Like, I mean, it's been working. It's been the thing that's been working for me and being like successful. Like I've been making sales, and if not sales, people donate. People donate. People, purchase the CD. They get the digital one, if not the physical CD. Like I literally still have CDs right here, and I had sold a few in like the last few days, and just like. And then the thing is like, okay, side note about selling CDs. So like usually I generally like connect with like black women or like women who look like me, maybe like my age, anywhere between like I don't know, maybe like I want to say like 20 to like even like maybe like middle age, like older black women, because they're usually really supportive and like even if not like getting the CD, but like donating or or just sending money or purchasing, or like I've just been coming across like Black women who've just been like really helpful throughout the like process. And and every now and then like I'll come across like people of other nationalities and ethnicities who are supportive as well. And like sometimes it's men, who are like my age or who are kind of like into like my kind of music, like not like hipsters, but even like just regular like Black folks. And then sometimes there's been white guys that have been like supportive and like bought the albums too. And and people just been like really supportive. There's been like a gambit of people, but for the most part, it's easier for me to like connect with Black women, and and of all ages, like around my age, a little younger, I guess younger now. Now that I'm 30, but like women who are like like late teens, like in their 20s, young, kind of like into like metaphysics and stuff like that, or or just music. Like they'll buy a CD, and usually they just get it. And I'm so grateful to the Black women who've been like supportive, and not just Black women, but Latino women, white women, like the guys, and all the people in between. I'm grateful for the people who've just been purchasing or donating or both. Like sometimes they'll send me a little bit more than what the CD costs, and and just like, hey, we want to just send you a little extra money just to like help you with your situation. And I'm just so appreciative to the people who've been doing that. And the people who it doesn't take a whole like a long pitch, they're just like, oh, you do music, word. And then when they hear my situation, they're like, oh, word, like I'm down to help, you know and or people who just like get it. Maybe like there's people who like know me, and because they do, and not trying to be like cocky or anything, but just being real. um or just people, I guess, who have seen me in the area, so now they're more familiar with me. And and there's folks that's just been like really helpful, and just like purchasing and donating, whether it be. And I just learned about Apple Pay too, right? I just learned about Apple Pay. Speaking of Apple Pay, um, but yeah, I've been getting money through Apple Pay. So, and I've been kind of like late to that because I just got my T-Mobile. Well, not just got it. It's an old phone that I've had a while for, and I like turned the service back on after it had been like off for like a few years. And so I've been using that because some of my other devices I left back in Maryland, so I'm not really using those devices and such at this moment. So, but with my phone, I had paid the bill a little early, and that's been a way for me to like get sales on you know for the CDs. I've been you know just like just getting the sales and everything. I think, okay, I did my makeup pretty much. And so and so when I'm like out and about, and I'm like selling the CDs, and just interacting with people, and you know I've been told like, oh, you should use Apple Pay. And I mean, I use Cash App too. Like this is my Cash App right here. And so I get Cash App too. And so but there's been some interesting things on there. But I will say, what I do like about Cash App is that they have like options where you could like buy stocks. And so like for a while, like before moving out here, like my stocks was up. I think I had like almost like close to like $200 in stocks, just because like every time I had a sale, like I saved money, and so like I would, if I get like something through Cash App, I'll just like buy stocks, and and basically just get the P500 normal ones, the top 7 or whatever that people be talking about, whether it's like Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, Eli Lilly, Microsoft, Google, or Alphabet, and just like investing in these stocks, and basically I had like $200 in stocks because I was saving at that point to get to Orlando, and finally I made it. Um, Here. And so, but I wasn't even trying to use that money. I was like, look, this is like backup money, like, that I'm saving, like, and just, I don't want to touch that money. Like, it's good, it's safe, it's to the side. And if I really need it, then it's there. And so I had already saved separate money. And so I had learned, because I had pretty much been only familiar with Cash App. Then I also have Venmo. And then I was using Zelle. And so I do need to get back on Zelle. Um, that's another thing I gotta do. Let me write that down before I forget. Because I've been meaning to update that. Because I'm like, look, if there's a way for me to get money and I'm forgetting about it, then I want to know so I can get it together. Oh, bless you, honey. Oh, bless you. You okay? You good? Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, let me, hold on, I just gotta make sure I got this written down to get done. Mm, I'm like, one of these days I gotta go to the bank and just like handle all my, financial stuff so I can get my Zelle back and get money that way. So I'm like, whatever ways, whatever avenue for me to like get my sales back up, whether it be through Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, um, you know, the whole thing. And then so now I know I have Apple Pay too. So anybody that got like Apple devices, I've been receiving money that way too. So I'm just like, yes, come through Apple Pay. And another thing I've been working on, because the main thing that I've been thinking about was just like, this whole conversation of being like 30 and being a woman focused on your career and just trying to get your life together. And so with me, like, even though like I'm technically in between work right now, like I've been selling CDs, I put a show together, and I'm working on like getting back into performing and just trying to like just build something that I control, because I mean I'm putting my applications in, and in search of like employment, and if I could find something like that, then then that's cool. um and you know if I could find something that's consistent and stable, then that'd be great. But then also, like, if I could build something for myself and like it actually be a success this time around and really do the work and do things that I haven't really been doing before. Like, sometimes like I've started hold on. So I started another e-commerce site, right? I started another e-commerce store. Hold on, let me just make sure this is plugged up. Okay. So anyway, so I'm working on an e-commerce store, and I've been. This is like I've done this before. I've even worked on this store like last year. Tried to launch it. It was an issue with the website. It was a whole thing, but I was able to like work through it now. So the website is live, and I'll put it in the description. The store is a more oversells love of Aquarius. That's kind of like the vibe of the business, and it's in French. Only because like I hold on. Okay, let me just restate that. So, the store is called a more oversell, and it means love of an Aquarius because I'm an Aquarius and it's my brand. But also, just you know, I wanted to create pieces with intention and pieces with a message that resonate with people, that people relate to, and also be intentional about it. And that's why the collection that I have now is not too much on me. That I have 4 hoodies and 4 shirts. The shirts are $45. The hoodies are 55, and I have they come in 4 different colors. Each of them, the t-shirts and the hoodies, each come in black, cash cream, like a rose gold, pink color, and white. So those are the variety that I have right about now, and so you can shop that. And I'm powering it through Shopify, and so I got certain tasks that I got to get done to work on that, which I was supposed to get done earlier, but I was doing some like application stuff. I was going through lists of like jobs and stuff that I had applied to, and just tried to see if anybody had gotten back to me yet, and connecting with them, and trying to find the numbers for some of these companies. Like, I had applied through a bunch of them through Recruiter, and a lot of them don't have like, I don't. Some of them I don't know if they're like legit websites or not. Either way, whatever opportunity is best for me, like I just hope it comes my way. And and so yeah, we'll just see how that goes. Um so yeah. So anyway, in the midst of me like working or looking for work, right? I'm selling CDs as I'm out and about, just hustling in the area, putting myself out there as an artist. And then also, I just put together this website, Moreover So. I'm selling t-shirts and hoodies. And this time around, I want to do the work that I hadn't been doing before to really push the brand and promote it and market it successfully and connect it to the right audience, connect it to the right target market, people who get it, people who understand the phrasing, not too much on me, people who rock it, who, like see it and it's like, oh, this is what I've been looking for, this is what I want, and people who really just get the brand, get the messaging, get the swag, and and literally get the merchandise, and and order and everything. Because I think I've tried this a lot of times, and usually I would struggle around like marketing, and and even when I was marketing, I just whatever. I've had issues in the past before. So this time around, I want it to be different. And, I just want there to be a clear path. I mean, hopefully it shouldn't be as complicated as like trying to part the Red Sea or anything. I don't know. But, I just want to really market this and push this into something that can be profitable, something that can be successful, something that can provide a consistent source of income that can then some. I want it to be a revenue of income that gains success, that's successful, obviously, that's profitable, and just something that can help me build some type of independence and stability. Like when I was working full time, like I was working full time before, making almost like over 1,000 every paycheck. And I'm like, I've made that money before. Like it shouldn't be that complicated. Not only making that money again, but making that money through my own work and through my own businesses, through my own music, my company, my clothing, whatever it is that I do should be a source of income, and I just want to make sure I do the right work the smartest way, the quickest and simplest way, but also just connect with the right people to run smooth, learn that process and really master it, and do so in a way where it it works. It just works. And it's not complicated. And anything that tries to come up in between the process is cleared out of the way, And yeah, so, to the women out there that are just figuring it out, and maybe you've tried something 100 times and it hadn't worked before, or maybe you tried something 100 times and it did work, and you had different help, or you had different insight or different knowledge, but it elevated you. And now you're 30, and maybe you've made mistakes in your 20s, or you had success in your 20s, but maybe you want a different career path or different ideas. And especially women who are like, single and like don't have kids, and in some of these workspaces, and just like, things like a menstrual cycle, and financial inequality, even though we should be getting paid more than most, just off of qualifications and talent and knowledge alone, and just women just like figuring it out, just like as a single woman, and just navigating the things that are so new to society. Because like back in the day, people would expect us to be like at home, like with the kids and this and that. And I know my situation is a little interesting right now, but it's not like I'm just like, I mean, I do like do my part in my living situation, which I haven't really gotten into, and it's not our business for real. But like I said, like I'm out hustling CDs every day, trying to maintain my health, as best as my ability as a woman. I could never be over like the conversations, because that could be a loaded conversation in itself. And just like being a working woman dealing with a menstrual cycle, and especially if you're like learning about holistic health and trying to have a healthy cycle and maintain a pH balance, and then especially if you had experiences with irregular cycles, and and you're just trying to figure out your like body and your health, and then your place in society, and like, and as a working woman, and like hopefully without kids. And I know there's people who have kids, and I'm like, gratefully I don't have any. um and not that I don't want any, but just like I know I'm not ready for it, and I'm again just trying to focus on myself, focus on my health, focus on my wealth. Okay, focus on myself, my health, my wealth. Okay, that is the focus right now. And so in these things, I just know like I need to take care of myself and be stable as my own woman before I even have a kid. And that's why I'm out here hustling these CDs. That's why I'm building this brand, and putting in this work on top of the research, and just like of just like society, and wanting to like be educated about the world, and also just build myself as a person, and like learn and grow spiritually, grow energetically, mastering my powers as a Black woman and my abilities, and to create the world that I want for myself, and not have to be bound beyond, by other people's expectations, or bound by other people's rules, and bound by all these things. Like I rebuke that, I cancel it, I free myself from them systems. And even if it has to be something as like different as me, like building these shops and building these businesses for myself, and just doing the workflow easily, and let like just clearly. And I don't care like if I'm gonna put like the blood, sweat, and tears into it all, and just really be focused on the work. I don't mind doing the work, I just want to see results from the work, and then like meeting the right people, the right support systems, the people who are going to purchase, and the people who get it, the people who understand. Like it falls into the right algorithms, it falls into the right reels and TikToks and For You pages, And and I just want to build my brand in a way that's organic and organically connect to the people who support me, organically connect to the people who want to see me win, organically connect to the people who genuinely love the product and would purchase the product and have been looking for product like what I have to offer, because it's been something that I wanted to do for a long time. I'm really passionate about art. I went to school for it, and and I just want to put myself in a position where it actually is built into something and is a success for me. And not only a success for me, but the community of people who vibrate on the frequency that I'm trying to elevate myself to be on, and are also striving to be on that elevated frequency too. And in ways that are healing, protective, that are encouraging, empowering, and love. You know, like, even though in French it's amour au vaisseau, you know, amour is love, but if you see it in English, it's like armor. And so that's why I wanted there to be an element of love, but I also wanted there to be an element of protection and knowledge of metaphysics and the cosmos. And that element of protection I have designed on the merchandise and the hoodies. I have a Hamsa hand on the back as a symbol of protection. I know it's saved my life. I know the Hamsa hand has protected me on my journey as I was traveling all the way to Canada, all the way back to like DC, living in my car. And then I started selling CDs and hustling, almost slid off the road, but didn't. Thank God I was, God was there protecting. So, okay, sometimes you just got to put the blessing on yourself. But and then also making it all the way to Orlando, and then just trying to find my way out here, and now I'm in a living situation. And I mean, there's still things that I'm working on and building, and trying to bring to myself and bring opportunities so I can be in a more stable and financially secure situation on my own. I'm just grateful for the journey thus far and how I've been protected. And so, in me doing that, I put that element in protection in my product. So, I'm gonna put the description on the I'm gonna put the website in the description, and y'all can check out the merch. I'll share my screen. Hold on. I'm just gonna show the website so y'all can see the products. And I'm still working through the domain and everything, but okay, hold on. Okay. So yeah, just bear with me for a second as I pull this up. But I'm I just I had these designs for a while. I had more designs, but I wanted there to be a cohesive, consistent, minimalist look, but then also something that speaks to a specific demographic of people who speak a certain way, look a certain way, express themselves a certain way, and just get the energetic aspect of it. I wanted to be intentional with that with this piece, and saying not too much on me. It's like a declaration of respect. It's a declaration of setting boundaries, protection. The saying itself is just not too much on me, my brand, my person, my companies, my money. Not too much on me unless you want to give me much money. Okay. All right. But okay, you know what? This is being slow right now. All right. Since it's being a little slow, I'm just going to rough it and just show y'all straight up on the screen on my Apple phone. All right. So I'm getting more people checking out the website. All right. So this is the literal website. A moreover, so we got the hoodies, and then we got the t-shirts. Real simple, real minimalist, real clean. You know, if you want to look at the pink one, hold on. Okay, there we go. That's the Hamsahan. And that design is on all the pieces. So check it out. I don't know how much I have time to myself before I have to, start selling CDs and whatnot because I do live in a roommate situation. But I'm going to conclude this and just say thank you to everybody that's been supportive. Thank you to everybody that's purchased, that's bought a CD, that's donated, whether it been to Cash App, to Venmo, to Zelle. Not Zelle right now, but Cash App, Venmo, and then also Apple Pay is cool too. All that info is in the description, and I'm going to put the website link on there as well. And so, if you want to shop the merchandise, I'd be grateful for the support and share, let people know, and support a young black, single, you know, woman that's trying to make a name for herself and build something for herself where I can build my independence and also just do something that I'm passionate about and express myself in an artistic way and build from there. Much love, y'all. Y'all know I usually end with a prayer. I try to. So we'll end with Psalm 23 because I love that one. And it's only almost 5:23. So, all right. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me on the path of righteousness for his name's sake. And though I walk through the valley, I fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. God prepares a table for me in the presence of my adversaries and anoints my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I dwell in the house of the Lord. So it is, so will be. Gratitude for what's been. Amen. I mean, I share. Much love to y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this live stream. This was something short, light work, a little some. And I'm just gonna get myself together so I can start selling some CDs. And then, and I gotta remind myself like to sell the merch at the same time. Like sell the merch at the same time, Naris. Sell the merch at the same time. So when I make sales for the CD, the way also I have this merch. You can make an order on the website, and and basically I just promote all those things all at once. And yeah, build the website, build the brand, build the CDs, and then maybe do another performance sometime. Um, so yeah, let's see how that goes. And my roommate just got a guitar, so that's something I should practice sometime soon. But yeah, that's it. Much love to y'all, and I'll see you later.